What's up, everybody? It's Mark from the Cask Wine and Beer Boutique. I am joined with my good friend Tommy from Sin City Agave and the Las Vegas Tequila Club. We are here to discuss the new release from YEYO, both the Day of the Dead Jovens that just came into market last week. Really excited about this one. This has been a long time coming. This is the first release from Nam 1414 and Sergio Cruz, also known as YEYO. Both of these bottles were really cool for us. We were excited to get them. I think we were the first,
and only, I believe, in Southern Nevada.
which that's pretty cool. Hopefully everybody else gets their shipment soon because I know that a lot of people want to try this stuff. So a little bit about the tequilas before we get into the tasting and the review. 100% agave producer from the Highlands
of Jalisco.
And just for our own edification for the geeks out there, this is not an additive-free product any longer, but it only has in it agave, yeast, and water. So it's all champagne yeast. There's no caramel coloring, no extracts of any type, but we cannot call it additive-free. We do not want any letters sent to us by the CRT or any other organization anytime soon. So let's get into the first thing. Let's talk a little bit about the box.
Cool. Obviously, the box is very Day of the Dead-y.
Yep.
Awesome artwork. They put a lot of attention to detail in the boxes. Also, on the inside of the box is their typical treasure map that they put in all of their products. But if you notice here, there's Las Vegas Tequila Club.
That's very important, by the way.
Very important. And a lot of our other friends around the tequila industry are on there as well. So cool little stuff. If you ever have a chance to do their scavenger hunt, do it because it's well worth your time up there in Arandas.
That's super cool. Let's get into the first bottle. This we're going to go over is the YEYO Celebration Sol. This is a Joven that is 65% Reposado, 35% Blanco, aged for 8 months in a spiced apple cider barrel. It is oak, so that way it is following the guidelines for tequila, but this did see a resting of spiced apple cider in it before it was sent down to Mexico for YEYO to then add their tequilas to it. Obviously, everybody can probably notice these bottles have had quite a lot of work done on them already. Tommy and I had to make sure that these bottles were at the quality that we expect out of them before we did our video. So we had to do a couple of quality checks on them. The thing that I thought was really cool about Sol was how fruit forward this tequila was in comparison to Luna. And I think that's why you probably liked Luna a little bit more. This one for me, lots and lots of agave. Rich, powerful spice. You get a little bit of that cinnamon from the apple cider barrel, perhaps. It could have already probably been there too. But there's also this intensity of red fruit, which kind of showed through this tequila very differently than Luna did. Another point of reference for this is a little bit of a higher proof. This is bottled at 43%. So you're going to get a little bit more structure. You get a little bit more firmer flavors and aromas off of this one. But just the initial nose, you get a lot of cooked agave. You get a lot of red fruit aromas. You get richness. You get a little bit of a sweet undertone of maybe a baked apple pie. But definitely agave right out the gate.
Ironically, it's much brighter than the Luna from what I remember. Hence the Sol.
The tannins on this one are firm. There's a tiny bit of spice on the palate. There's a lot of acidity to this tequila, which really shows off the freshness of the distillate. It just goes on and on and on. And even though it's got a little bit more alcohol content to it, it's giving a little bit more body and a little bit more structure. There's no bite. There's no burn. There's no phenol alcohol sort of aroma and flavor coming off of this like sometimes you get with overproof tequilas. It's really clean. The distillate itself is really well made. And the barrel actually does a lot of work on this to kind of bring down some of that spiciness on the palate, which I think is super cool. So for me, I think that Sol is absolutely delicious. It's rich, it's powerful, it's a great expression, and it's very unique.
All right, so now we have the Luna Celebration, also 65% Repo, 35% Blanco, Joven, rested 8 months in bourbon barrels and also peach wine casks. So first, let's get a little aroma on it. The nose, definitely something that bourbon lovers could enjoy, along with agave heads for sure. The bourbon is definitely rounded out with a hint of sweetness, and that's coming from the peach on those peach wine casks. But the agave is so strong still. At 43%, it's going to come through strong.
I remembered that one having a little bit of a malolactic sort of aroma to it also, which I thought was kind of neat when we first tasted that.
That 43% holds up so well with that aging in those barrels. And the combination of bourbon and peach wine, it's got that bourbon influence rounded out by that peach, but yet the agave is still shining through at that 43% ABV. Great nighttime sipper, ironically enough, with the name Luna. It's not as bright as the Soul, which obviously it's cheating based on the names. It makes it a little easier for us to understand that, but that influence is null and void because it's true. This is a nighttime sipper. The age on it is so good. The agave is outstanding. But just get a hint, just a little hint of peach, and that bourbon's coming through. But man, something about 1414 and Sergio, and the way John just let Sergio do his thing with his tequilas.
I think these are pretty cool too, because even though these are very, very unique bottles and barrelings that they've done, the agave is still first and foremost the flavor profile. You've got peach wine and you've got spiced apple cider casks, which you think would be total bullies in a flavor profile, but they're not. These are still showing agave first and foremost, and then they're allowing the barrel to do some cool things to like accent the flavor.
I'll be honest with you, the first time I heard what was going to be, how these were going to be aged, I was a little bit concerned that they'd be overly sweet, and they just have enough hint of sweetness to them that many people will enjoy this, but even Blanco lovers like myself can enjoy this aged tequila, just similar to their rum barrel program that they've had. Just enough of that influence, but they still keep the integrity of the agave. So us Blanco lovers can enjoy it just as much as the aged agave lovers. And I'm sorry, but I have to take it.
Well, I definitely think that it shows off a lot of fresh acidity, which Blanco lovers are going to absolutely adore. Mm-hmm. That's why you love Blanco. You love the essence of agave. You love the fresh vibrancy. You love minerality. You love acidity. These have them.
Yeah, for sure. At that 43%. That 43% is, I think, a great fine line of where that needed to be to keep that agave strong and going through with that. And obviously, Sergio knows what he's doing, so that's excellent.
Well, cheers to Sergio. Cheers to John.
Salud.
Salud. Great review. Great review. Excited to have these. If you enjoyed this video, check out the other videos that we have on the page. We've got more coming. If you want to learn more about these bottles, hit us up at the store. We're happy to let you know that we have them in stock. But otherwise, thanks for checking in, and we'll see you on the next go-around.